Hey there, my friend. Have you ever felt like everything is spiraling out of control? You're not alone. We all feel that way sometimes. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that it's actually okay. In fact, everything being out of control is a good thing. And I'll tell you why. It all comes down to a fascinating concept from Stoicism called memento mori. It's a Latin phrase that means, remember that you will die. Sounds a bit morbid, I know, but bear with me. It's a game changer, I promise. Alright, let's dive deeper into the Stoic perspective on this idea. The Stoics had a fascinating way of looking at the world, and their approach to life's challenges can still be incredibly relevant and helpful today. So when they talk about constantly reminding ourselves of our own mortality, they're not just being morbid, they're trying to help us keep our priorities straight by maintaining a sense of perspective. It's all about focusing on what truly matters in life. When we know our time is limited, it's only natural to be more selective about how we spend it. We start to gravitate towards activities and relationships that are meaningful and important to us. This heightened awareness of our own mortality can act as a powerful motivator, pushing us to make the most of every moment and prioritize the things that truly matter. Now let's connect this to the idea of not telling others about our plans and goals. In the grand scheme of things, seeking validation or approval from others is a relatively trivial concern. The Stoics would argue that it's just a distraction from what's truly important. Instead of focusing on what others think, we should be honing in on our own actions and intentions. And that's where the concept of memento mori becomes particularly relevant. When we keep our plans and goals to ourselves, we create an environment in which we can focus solely on our own progress and development. This not only prevents us from becoming overly reliant on the opinions and validation of others, but also allows us to be more in tune with our own values and priorities. Sharing our dreams and ambitions with others might seem harmless enough, but it can create a host of unwanted side effects. For example, it can generate a sense of pressure and expectation that we might not have experienced otherwise. Suddenly, we're not just pursuing our goals for our own sake, but also to meet the expectations of those we've shared them with. This added stress can lead to anxiety and a fear of failure, which can ultimately hold us back from reaching our full potential. But there's an even more insidious aspect to sharing our plans with others. When we open ourselves up in this way, we can become vulnerable to the temptation of seeking validation and approval. It's all too easy to start relying on other people's opinions, rather than trusting our own instincts and values. This can cause us to lose sight of our true priorities, and might even lead us to make decisions that aren't in line with our authentic selves. So by keeping our goals and aspirations close to our hearts, we can maintain a laser-like focus on what truly matters. We're better able to resist the lure of external validation, and can devote our energy and attention to the things that are most important to us. In essence, the concept of memento mori helps us stay grounded and centered, even in the face of life's many distractions and temptations. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should never share your plans or goals with anyone. There's definitely a time and a place for that. But it's important to strike the right balance. When you're focused on your own growth and progress, it's vital to keep your eyes on the prize and not get caught up in what others might think. So let's bring this all back to the idea of everything being out of control. It may seem counterintuitive at first, but when you accept that you can't control everything in your life, you start to free yourself from the expectations and judgments of others. This can lead to a greater sense of self-awareness, self-confidence, and ultimately, happiness. When you let go of the need for external validation, you begin to focus on your own actions, intentions, and values instead of constantly seeking approval from others. This shift in focus enables you to align your actions with your true self and live a more authentic life. One of the most significant benefits of this mindset is that it frees you from the fear of failure and the pressure to meet someone else's expectations. Failure is a natural part of life, and when we accept that, we can learn from our mistakes and grow as individuals. The pressure to meet expectations can be overwhelming, but when we let go of the need for validation, we can focus on our own goals and aspirations. Being in the driver's seat of your own life is empowering. You're no longer at the mercy of others' opinions, and you can steer your life in the direction that feels right for you. This kind of freedom allows you to make choices based on your own values and principles, rather than trying to please everyone around you. Now, I know this might sound a bit overwhelming. Change can be scary after all. But trust me, it's worth it. Embracing this idea of memento mori and focusing on what truly matters will help you live a more authentic, meaningful life. So let's talk about some practical steps you can take to get started. First and foremost, it's important to remind ourselves of our mortality. While it may seem strange, this practice can actually help us stay focused on what truly matters in life. Taking a few moments each day to remember that our time is limited can be a powerful motivator to prioritize the things that are most important to us. One way to do this is by repeating the phrase memento mori to ourselves as a reminder of our inevitable end. Another option is to set a daily reminder on your phone, so the thought is never too far from your mind. Now that you've got the concept of memento mori in your consciousness, it's time to think about your values and priorities. What is it that you truly care about? What do you want to spend your limited time on this earth pursuing? To help solidify these ideas, make a list of your core values and priorities. Keep this list somewhere visible, like on your fridge or your bathroom mirror, so you can refer to it regularly. This will help you stay grounded and focused on your own path without getting caught up in the opinions and expectations of others. As you become more in tune with your values and priorities, you may find yourself tempted to share your plans and goals with others. While this can be a natural impulse, it's essential to practice keeping these aspirations to yourself, at least in the beginning stages. This may feel strange, particularly if you're accustomed to sharing everything with those around you. However, by resisting the urge to tell everyone about your new project or goal, you allow yourself to focus on the process and enjoy the journey without the weight of others' expectations. This practice of keeping your plans and goals to yourself can also help you develop a stronger sense of self-reliance. By not relying on the validation and approval of others, you can concentrate on what truly matters to you and what aligns with your values. This can lead to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Of course, learning to let go of the need for external validation is easier said than done. It can be challenging to break free from the habit of seeking approval from others, particularly if it's something you've done for most of your life. When you find yourself craving validation, take a step back and ask yourself why. What's driving this need for approval? Is it rooted in insecurity or a fear of failure? Reflect on these questions and consider ways in which you can validate yourself instead. One method for fostering self-validation is through self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and encounters setbacks, and it's crucial to be patient with yourself as you learn and grow. By practicing self-compassion, you'll find it easier to let go of the need for external validation and focus on your own journey. Another way to build self-validation is by celebrating your accomplishments, no matter how small. Acknowledge your progress and take time to revel in your achievements, even if it's just completing a small task or making progress toward a larger goal. This can help reinforce your sense of self-worth and remind you that you don't need the approval of others to feel accomplished. Remember, the goal here isn't to become a hermit or shut yourself off from the world. It's about finding the right balance and living your life according to your own values and principles. When you do that, you'll find that everything being out of control isn't such a bad thing after all. In fact, it's the key to living a more meaningful, fulfilling life. So, my friend, embrace the chaos. Remember that everything is out of control, and that's okay. Focus on your own actions, intentions, and values, and let go of the need for external validation. When you do that, you'll find that life becomes a whole lot more enjoyable and meaningful. And hey, if you ever need a reminder, just think of those two powerful words. Memento mori. Remember that you will die, and use that knowledge to live your best life. You've got this.